My name's Danny Iverson. I go as Iverson Jewelry Designs, and I'm a wire wrapper and traditional metalsmith. I really enjoyed growing up in Montana, just because I grew up in a small town and there was a lot to do there, and made a lot of really great friends. And just, it's great not to be in a big city. I was drawn to Missoula because I had a lot of friends who lived here, and also it's just, I feel like one of the better places in Montana. It's very liberal, and the art scene's really great. I got into wire wrapping for the actual art of wire wrapping itself, and at the time I was going to a rainbow gathering and I needed something to trade. And so I've always been artistic, and I did things like macrame and crocheting, and so I saw wire wrapping and I started to wrap up some crystals that I was getting from a local crystal store, and from there just the passion expanded. I was originally inspired by a couple other artists here in Missoula that were wire wrapping, and I would talk to them and see the different techniques that they would use, and I would try to incorporate it into my own work the same. And yeah, I just basically taught myself while also looking at other people's work and just trying to kind of cross-reference and try to make a style that worked for me that I really enjoyed. I was inspired by A.J. Auer, Jeremiah Wofford, and Tim Carpenter originally. I feel like the art scene here in Missoula is great. I feel it's very supported by the community, and they have lots of different pop-up shows that happen. There's lots of, there's the People's Market, Saturday Market. There's just, there's lots of galleries around town. They're just really great platforms for artists, and it feels like the community is very supportive of what people are trying to do here. Yeah, when I first got into wire wrapping, it was basically just sterling silver and 14 karat gold fill wire and pliers and a few mandrels, and I could do my job. And then after a few years of doing that, I expanded into doing metalsmithing and more techniques, which took a lot more equipment. And yeah, there's this flex shaft's a tool I use a lot, which is a rotary tool. I use that every day, and now I'm doing soldering with the torch, and even moving on to getting lapidary equipment to start cutting my own stones. I buy all my metal from Rio Grande online, and then my gemstones, I source those from gem shows, from Instagram. At this point, there's so many different ways to get gems, but I used to always just get them from gem shows. Even like with wire wrapping, I wasn't into gems. When I got into it, it was more like, how do I explain it? I just love the way the wire went together, and my dad's a contractor, and I've always worked with him doing framing and concrete work and things like that, and so it was like the same type of deal where it's like, if you do things square and do them correctly, you can make things look really beautiful, and you can actually make a formula that works, so you can expand out of it over and over. And for me, it's like I'm not even a lot of times super creative in the way of coming up with cool ideas in my brain. I'm really good at working through ideas and kind of cutting the fat and seeing what works and what doesn't, and then yeah, eventually end up at the end of the line with something really cool in my hand that I don't even know how I really came up with the idea. I like doing the fusion work of wire wrapping and metalsmithing because you're able to create things that are way stronger than just a singular wire wrap.